All right, guys, so as we push a little further back, it just gets more foggy and more foggy, and we just had a monster beaver just roll right here. You know, and obviously you can't hate the beaver for it. This is air conditioning for them. He gets to get up in this spring and chill in some cooler water, and golly, just look at the clear pockets and sandy bottom, and I guarantee you there's tons of bait fish piled up in here. There's probably crawfish and all kinds of, you know, emergent forage that's in here. So this is probably, oh man, if you've ever watched the Rocky movies and they start playing the dun 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 dun, that's kind of where I'm at right now with this spot. All right, so we're continuing to ease back into this little pocket, and yeah, the water temperature just dropped another 10 degrees. We're now at 67.9, and about 15 feet ago it was still in the 70s. So it's continuing to drop. We're definitely getting a lot closer to the spring, so we're gonna slow down right here and fish it out. I might even force myself to throw a plastic before getting a topwater blow up, you know, just to see what kind of fish are in here. But this is what you're looking for in the summertime. And off camera just a second ago, Gene and I were talking, so I'll go ahead and make this point and talk about the fact that in the wintertime, these places are as big a magnet as they are in the summertime, because it flips. The outside water temperature is a lot colder, and these back sloughs stay warm through the winter. So you can be backwater sight fishing topwater in the middle of the winter, because the springs also keep this water up in the 70s or in the high 60s in the wintertime, which is still the temperature zone. One of the things that I've seen, especially on these Tennessee River lakes, is you'll get bass spawning sometimes 3 and 4 times when they've got this spring thing going on, because their body senses, you know, the gravitational effects of the moon phase and all that, but it also senses the water temperature range. And sometimes they'll get into that range early, and you'll find bass bedding in December and January in some of these Tennessee River system lakes, in these backwoods pockets where there's a spring that gets that water in that spawning temperature zone, that 62 degrees to, you know, about 70, 71. So this is a goal of mine, and I'll definitely be coming back here. What we've got here is not just a beaver dam, but a beaver pond. These beavers have dammed up this whole side. We have this little dam right here. I've got a trick that I like to use to catch big fish, and that is to take a come along with me when I know that there's a place like this, and I'll screw the corkscrew like you tie down a dog with in a park into the beaver dam, and go over to a tree and hook it up, and I'll crank it and pull a hole in the dam. Then that running water starts rushing out of there, and those bass stack up behind it. If you find a natural run out, that's one thing, but when you can make your own run out and you can sit back and give it 30-45 minutes for the bass to stack up on it, it's unreal. So we're gonna fish this though before we jump over in it, because it looks like there's a portage right here into another lake back there that's all spring fed, all cool water, and we're gonna just keep trying to find where the bass are here. The beaver? Oh man. Yeah, we'll work down this creek a little ways, then we'll come back and portage over into that hole and then over into that dam. I don't know. Let me see. 640.
And his quote-unquote office is right next to the entrance where we're going to meet him. It's a meeting room.
Is it that staff room?
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that yesterday leaving.
With all the food.
Yeah. Yeah, no doubt.
It might be a magic temperature that we have to find.
Or it could be that they're out on those flats at night and they work back in the creeks, you know. They can get back here a lot quicker than we can. And then again, you're right. It could be that magic temperature. And it could be that you got to push back, like, past something like that nobody else passes. And then they're stacked. All right, so I want to show you guys something. It's really hard to film going through it because I have to take the pole down, but like I'm gonna spin this around and show you what I just came through. So that right there, you see Gene's on the other side. So I just came through it and spun around, and now I'm about to head back through, but as you can see, there's no way for a boat to get through this. And that is one of the real advantages to fishing from a kayak, is there's almost nothing that's impassable. If you've got lay downs, you can go up and around it, you can go through it, you can go over it. And so a lot of times when these fish are stacked up in the back of these spring-fed creeks, you can get to fish that nobody else can get to, and you have the water to yourself. We're still trying to find the fish. It could be that they're just laid up in the milfoil that's in and around the springs and they haven't got active yet. Or it could be that there's that one spot that they're all stacked up in. But with this cooler water, there's definitely going to be fish back here. It's just a matter of, do we have enough time to find them? One thing that bears mentioning when you are, especially in the summertime, when you're going through these trees and hand over your hand in your way through lay downs, or maybe the creek that you're paddling in is overgrown and you can't get your paddle through there, and you grab the tree limbs and pull yourself through, keep in mind, snakes really like to lay up on those first couple of limbs, and you're pushing your way through these overhanging bushes and lay downs and trees to get back into these cool spots. Really not a huge problem, just something to keep in mind. You might want to tap the tree with your paddle or shake it or something before you go underneath it. You don't want to end up with a snake in the boat with you, I promise. All right, guys, so here's the deal. We're at a go no go point. So what we're gonna do is concede there's at least 1, 2, 3 more portages to get into this lake back there that might be like Atlantis of bass fishing, but we're up against the wall for time. So what we're going to do instead is, we've got these 2 opening onion bulb looking places in this creek that have springs. So we're going to fish our way out. We're going to hit the bridge. We're going to fish this flat around the KOA campground, and we're going to concede this for a to be continued. But there's a lake back there that I want to get into. There's a lake back there that guy right there wants to get into. So this is going to be a to be continued for that lake back there, but right now we're going to fish our way out, head to the FLW Expo. But this score is not settled. We're going to that lake. This guy and that guy are going to that lake at some point. All right, so we have fished our way back, and we have caught exactly 0 fish. And I'm bringing this to you because what I'm going to show you is how much work goes into finding the places where these fish are. And for years, I have basically felt like I needed to make it look easy so that I don't intimidate folks. I have felt like maybe I should just show the fishing action because that's what, people want to see. But as I get older and as I kind of experience this stuff and I listen to the comments and I follow along with guys like Gene, I realize that the work product is as important as the actual the action. There's no substitute for time on the water. Just like for hunting, there's no substitute for time in the woods. And so I've got this acronym that I use, and it's called the TOW factor, T-O-W, time on the water. And as much as you can watch internet videos, and as much as you can fill your head up with knowledge, really, until you get out there and apply it, until you spend the time observing and seeing what's going on and how bass react and interact with your presentations and with your pressure into a spot and things like that, you're not really going to maximize the benefit of everything you learn. So I collaborate with that guy back there, or I've chosen to start collaborating with him because he is a teacher. He is bringing you guys knowledge and experience and lessons from years of doing it, from time on the water. There's two acronyms that I kind of use right now, tongue-in-cheek. I never really planned on putting them on the channel, but I'm going to go ahead and do it. So there's two TOW factors. There's the time on the water, and then there's time on the web. And what a lot of folks are doing these days in internet videos is rather than getting out there and showing it to you, they're spending time on the web, and then they're regurgitating what they see other guys doing or what they've heard other guys doing. So we're going to show you the real deal, no shit. It might not be sexy. We might not catch 50 fish every time we go fishing, but the matter of fact about this sport is you're not going to catch fish every time you go fishing. You're not going to catch really good fish unless you safety up and all you want to do is catch schoolies, unless you want to go to places you know you're going to catch them, but you're not growing as an angler. You're not increasing your knowledge base. You're not challenging yourself. So if you're going the safe route, do what you predict. You're going to catch those fish you've already caught. But if you don't get outside your comfort zone, you don't push yourself, and you don't do different stuff, you're not going to catch them different. You're not going to fill in what's up here. And you know, follow as many people as you want. Follow as many platforms as you can to fill your brain with knowledge, because knowledge is power in life. Is really powerful when it comes to being successful at this little endeavor that we all share called fishing. So I like that guy right there, Mr. Jensen, because he teaches. I like to teach. I have a job that requires me to entertain, and it's fun. It's something that comes natural to me. It's something that I enjoy. It's something that's fulfilling. But you know, I have this weird internal sense of a burden, you know, to also start to show you guys a lot more of what goes into it. I see comments on Gene's videos. I see comments on my videos where guys say, man, you make it look easy. And they get discouraged because they go out and it doesn't come that easy to them. So we're going to bring you the real deal, show you the backdrop, or at least I am, to what I'm doing. And when I fish with Gene, he's doing the same thing. So, you know, this video is not going to be fish porn. It's not going to be a bunch of hook sets and hell yes. We're going to bring you some of those videos, don't get me wrong, because we catch a lot of fish. But the reason that we catch a lot of fish is because of putting the time in. You know, that TOW factor. I can't say it enough. I'm going to put it across the screen right here. T-O-W, time on the water. Not time behind a keyboard, not time behind a book, not flipping through magazines while you're on the crapper, not, you know, double tapping Instagram photos. All that stuff's great and it's all part of the sport. But what makes you a better angler, what's going to get you to that next level, is going to fish places you've never fished before. We paddled to this spot in the dark, having never been here. We've portaged, we've drugged through the woods, we've, you know, this is part of it, guys. And so I know I'm ranting right now, and I apologize for that, but I'm gonna bring you some flog. I'm gonna bring you some fishing log. I'm probably not gonna show you me eating cereal. I'm probably not gonna show you me scrambling an egg or drive through conversations with anybody at freaking drive-through restaurants. I'm not going to walk around a mall with a camera ever. I say it. I'm not. It's not what I do. It's not what that guy does for the most part. You know, if Gene, if you've ever done a walk around the vlog video with the mall, I'm sorry. I'm just not doing it. That's not who I am. It's not what I do. Honestly, to walk around the mall with a camera, that means I gotta go to the mall. I don't go to the mall unless my daughter makes me. So I'm not crapping on anybody. I'm not talking smack about anybody. I'm telling you what you can expect from me is real. What you can expect from me is teaching. And what you can expect from me is lessons that I've learned from almost 30 years of doing this stuff hardcore, a lifetime of doing it recreationally. And I hope you enjoy it. You know, I'm going to make you laugh as much as I can. I'm going to make you think as much as I can. I'm going to try to teach you as much as I can. But you're going to have to get out there, lead your own horse to water, go fishing, and you'll become a better angler. And the biggest satisfaction I get right there in the heart for this whole thing is when somebody tells me they used one of my techniques to catch a personal best, or they went out and had the best day of their life or something like that. And so all I ask of you is, if you get this knowledge from me, that you pay it forward and you pass it on, teach somebody else to fish. Go follow that guy, Jensen. Not that he needs a lot of referrals, because he's like a YouTube monster. You're seeing a lot more of this guy and I fishing together. And yeah, there it is, real deal. You know, this isn't like Carl Von Dibble or whatever saying, you think you're gonna learn how to fish watching internet videos? Come on, because you're not really, unless you take it and do something with it. But this is me telling you, watch the videos, learn, especially if you're at work and just killing time, and you know, that's what you're doing. But get out there and do it. It's the toe factor. So, guys, I just want y'all to know that Gene asked me if I was going to catch a fish today, and I said, well, I'm going to put a senko on, because we're going to both look like goobers if we fish 2 full videos together and don't catch any really good fish. And so not only is the senko so good that you can actually kind of call your shots with it, but you got time to turn the camera on before you set the hook, and you still don't gut hook the fish. So got that little dude. I got the white stripe off of my back at least. Gene has showed up to this FLW event, and he didn't bring his gear, so pretty much all the gear that he's using today is my gear. So he's got my kayak, he's got my PFD and my paddle. So Gene, before I gave you that PFD, I did put you a bag of black Senkos in your left pocket right here. So feel free to feel free to tie one on.
You see what I'm doing?
Yeah, I see what you're doing. So feel free to tie one on so we can go ahead and finish this thing out with some fish. Listen, guys, everybody out there who is an accomplished angler has a love-hate relationship with that lure right there.
Yep.
But if you want to catch fish, and you have to catch fish, and it's game time, and the fishing is slow. I don't really like them when the fishing is gangbusters, because for one, you know, they're relatively expensive. They are expensive because they're the best on the market. There's no doubt about that in my mind. You know, there's other brands of stick baits out there, but you know, there's the whole often imitated, never duplicated thing. So I really like the actual Yamasenko. But when it's hard and the fish are slow and they're not chasing buzz baits and top waters and things like that, they'll still
trying to do a show and you can't.
They'll still eat a Senko then, but why throw the Senko out there and tear them up, and when you can get them to hit other stuff? So when you gotta get a bite, that lure right there is money. And that guy right over there is actually tying one on now, which is kind of funny. That's almost like getting him to wear like a Tennessee hat, from the standpoint of his posture towards Senkos in the sport of teaching people to fish.
And I can't give you a good reason why I don't like them.
Well, but I can tell you why you don't like them, because you're not really teaching anything when you teach somebody to throw a Senko. Yep. There is nothing to teach, and as much as I'd like to give you a tip on fishing a Senko, here's my tip on fishing a Senko: cast it out there and don't do anything. All this twitching and hopping and popping and all that, you're actually just being counterproductive to what this thing does. It shimmies when it falls, it makes the fish go nuts, they eat it, it's soft, it's got salt in it, it tastes real. So the only thing you can do to fish a Senko wrong is to do too much action, keeping it up, you know, in the water column. I've even had fish blow it up on top. But that right there, when it comes down to having to catch a fish, having to put a fish in the boat, you can't beat it. You can't go wrong. This and I call it a power finesse, because it's slow, but you can still move it with your rod tip. You can still twitch it every now and then, and you don't have to just sit there and painfully let it sit in place, and you'll catch fish. So black senko, blue fleck, Alabama, green pumpkin, black fleck, pretty much everywhere else. And that's about all you need to know. Throw a senko. Let it sink. Don't do too much. Get ready to cross their eyes.
Come back out, find a little bit warmer water, not really hot water. Dad just caught a fish on. Dang.
You can't even make yourself say it, can you?
I can't even say it. On a senko. So he said, "Oh yeah, by the way, Gene, you are borrowing my my PFD. Reach in your left pocket."
Yeah, buddy.
Can you believe there's a freaking bag of senkos in my PFD? So
here we go.
I'm no dummy. Somebody start catching fish on something, I'm gonna switch to that. So I put a senko. Can't get to come out of my rod. On.
That's as much of a testimonial for them as saying they're awesome.
Oh, I know it. I know it.
Hey, look at that big ass copperhead right there. No, that might be a water moccasin. See him coming from right to left?
Yeah, he's far enough out of the water. He should be able. Yeah, that's a moccasin.
Mm-hmm. And there's one on the third cast. So, as much as it's fun to catch them on the senko, like I said, you can get the pressure off, and then you can go back to the fishing the way you want to fish. And I want you to see what this bass did to this thing. He flat wrecked it. Bent both blades out of the way, got the trailer hook in the face and the main hook in the cheek. So he wanted that freaking buzzbait. So again, this is how I wanted to catch him. Kind of gave up on it when we're back here in that colder water. We moved back out here. Sometimes it's not the best water temperature, it's the right water temperature. So that little chunk just flat annihilated my double plopper. And now we're cooking with Crisco. So we just heard the FLW guys blast off, and we're already back here in one of these cool little creeks. I'm gonna line these wires back up, get this thing back out there. And you know, for all you kids at home that are like all ate up with this whole new Pikachu craze, or like what do you call them things? Not the other way around. So if you want to like get a girlfriend or join the realm of the real world, like you can actually take this thing. It's sort of like Pokemon, except you're not a social introvert, and people will like you. And like I said, you can get a girlfriend. So this is Pokemon Go for men. And now I'm gonna catch another one. It's like maybe we're gonna have some FLW Forest Wood Cup company here in just a second. Hey, you might want to tuck into the bank.